Well,
Do I go? Are we?
Well, do you want to make a statement about this announcement that we just made, or do you
Yeah.
just want to take some questions?
No, I'll just say, obviously it's been a long couple of months. We had a lot of work to do, and I really want to thank my staff. These guys did an incredible job identifying guys that we thought fit what we're trying to do here from a talent standpoint, from a character standpoint, we went out and ultimately got our guys. I love this class. We've got size, we've got shooting, we've got athleticism. I think we have collective rim protection, right? I think with our mobility and again, like, we have good length at the rim. But then also I think we have toughness on the perimeter that's tough to break down off the bounce. So just overall, really excited to get everyone here for once and start practicing as a unit. We've got a good amount of guys here right now, but it'll be good to get the whole team here and start working. So it's been a long but productive couple of months, and we're really excited about the group as a whole.
when do you kind of expect them to start arriving?
Yeah, no, most of them are, not most of them,
Mhm.
yeah, I guess about 8 to 9 of them are here on campus right now, maybe 10. Like even today, I think we got somebody coming in. So it's, again, it's been a revolving door. Like the last bunch of guys continue to come in and get acclimated to San Antonio and get these guys enrolled. And listen, it's been a lot of fun. To me, I know looking back, we were asked a lot about just the, having to get a lot of guys or the portal or whatever the case may be. I think that's a fun part of what we get to do as coaches, build that roster and again, identify guys that I think fit the personality of not just our team, but our athletic department at school, right? And I think that's how you build a successful program.
Yeah.
So, we should have everybody here for good in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be ready to go.
Who among the 12 kind of stands out to you the most?
It's tough to say. I haven't gotten to get them out here yet, right?
Yeah.
Listen, I think we've got incredible depth, and that's with our style of play, with getting up and down and being aggressive defensively. You need a lot of guys. You need depth. You don't score a lot of points with one guy having the ball the whole game, right? And I think that's probably. And there's going to be nights where it's this guy and that guy, or that guy and this guy, and I think that's the thing that's great about this team is I don't think we're going to rely heavily on one person, and I think we've got a lot of guys that have done a lot of things. I think we've got guys that have produced at high levels. We've got guys that have played at big games. We've got guys that have made shots. We've got guys that get to the free throw line. And so I think it's just about gelling and meshing all that together over the course of the next 4 or 5 months.
Coach, do you have, I know Raekwon played in the tournament last year with Madison. Do you have any others on this list that played in the NCAA last year?
Yep, so Jaquan Scott
Okay.
with Mississippi State was there last year. Obviously, Raekwon, I believe that's it. Again, it's just a lot of guys. Sometimes it takes me a while to get through it. I think maybe. So again, it takes, and again, I think that's something when you're piecing together a team. And we got guys that have been on good teams that didn't make the tournament, but I think having guys with that experience, that have been there, know what it looks like, that is vital when you talk about trying to build a culture, right? Build an identity of winning and toughness. Both those guys are junkyard dogs and also very skilled. I mean, Jaquan's got a high percentage from three in junior college. Raekwon Horton is sort of a Swiss Army knife that can, just makes a ton of winning plays, can drive it, can shoot it better than I think people realize. Both those two guys are menaces on the glass. So, those two specifically, I know were in the tournament last year, so they'll bring that, sort of experience with them.
How do you feel about your, just your point guard group?
Yeah. Again, in our system too, a lot of guys handle it. A lot of guys use ball screens. A lot of guys initiate offense. I think, obviously, Primo is a guy that has scored a lot of points, but also averaged 5 assists at Georgetown. You've got Smurf Melander, who, is coming off a really successful freshman campaign. And then also, of course, Paul Lewis is sort of a combo guard, is a guy that can really handle it, has incredible feel, But then also, I mean, I think some of our, like you mentioned Raekwon. I think Raekwon's an incredible passer and he has good feel, so he's a guy with his rebounding will get it and push it a lot. And so in Scooter's a combo as well. I mean, we're just really deep at that guard position, right? And so I think as we go and we start to piece together, different lineups and who plays well with who. And I certainly feel good about our ball handling and our passing. In terms of traditional point guard, I mean, I think we need all these guys to look to make shots and score. So we're not necessarily the team that just outlets it to one guy and he brings it. We're different in that regard. But I do love the depth of our primary guard room, if you will.
You did have, sorry.
Let's just go about down the
Sure.
list of positions if you want.
Yeah.
What about your 2-3 type players?
Yeah, and again for us, heck, a lot of those guys will play together, right? Even the guys I just mentioned. But then also now you've got some of your bigger wings like, and I mentioned Terrion Joseph, Scooter. He's sort of more of a 2 than a 1. I mean, he's a scorer and
Joseph?
Yeah, Joseph. He can really score in bunches, but then you also got our long wings that are kind of that 2, 3, 4. Our 4s even will handle it and be on the wing, and so that's obviously Damari Monsanto and Raekwon and Sky. With how we're going to guard and how we want to disrupt people. Those 3 guys are guys that can really cause problems at the rim for people. Of course, Nas, is the returner of the bunch. A guy that also provides length and shooting. He's been working with the Qatari national team for the last month, so it'll be good to get him back and a guy that's familiar with this school and this program. And so again, I think those guards you mentioned before. A little bit smaller, fast, and now we've also added length in shooting with really all those guys. Sky and Mark can really shoot it. I think Raekwon's going to surprise people with his shooting as well. We know Nas is a very capable shooter. In our offense, we're going to have to manufacture some, a lot of catch and shoot threes as well as attacking the rim. So feel really good about all those guys. And then obviously, probably don't want to ask me about the front court.
4 5s.
Yeah, and then I think we've got a ton of versatility in those spots. When you talk about Jaquan, Joe, and Jesus and David, those 4 guys, they really, like I said, they're all kind of interchangeable. None of them are traditional 5s. All of them are capable and physical enough to guard 5s, and then we'll do different things throughout the course of the year. How we want to guard just different actions. That's probably, if I'm being transparent with you, that's probably the one thing that as we move into next year that we probably will look to add, right? Is like a true 5, on the roster. But to be honest with you, man, I just felt we got really lucky being able to get these 4, and Jaquan and Joe are incredibly athletic. They can switch and guard every position. They can stretch the floor with their shooting. Jaquan can really score it inside. Joe's probably our best rim protector just from a sheer shot blocking standpoint. And then, of course, with David being able to stretch the floor, David's our biggest, if you're talking about 6'10", 240. He can really stretch the floor, he can really pass. He's an incredible offensive player. And then Jesus just has incredible experience. He's gritty, he's tough. Was a very good player at Campbell, and then played 14 minutes a game in the SEC. I mean, that experience is vital. He's got great size, 6'7", 225, 230. And again, just a guy that can play make on the perimeter when you've got shooting and speed like we do. I think kind of him being able to initiate offense, it's important when you're playing teams that really like to heat up guards, like a Memphis or teams in our league that like to get in you a little bit. It's good to have bigs that can decision make and pass and initiate offense for you to take some of the responsibility off your primary ball handlers.
Speaking of Naz, how important was it to at least have one guy still on the roster that has experienced the AAC and just kind of playing here in San Antonio?
Listen, to answer your question, I don't think it was important.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was really exciting, like that Nas wanted to be back.
Yeah.
I don't think it was. I didn't call Nas to beg him to come back. He was fired up. Like he called me literally the day it got announced, we've talked every day. Not every day, but we've talked. He's like I said, he's been working. But leading up to my press conference, we talked a ton. And he, I think what's exciting about Nas is he loves his program and he loves his school. He loves being here. He loves being part of UTSA, being a Roadrunner. And again, we want those kind of people around the program, from the players to the managers to the coaches to the fans to everyone involved. That's the type of passion that we need to win a championship. And Nas exemplifies that every day. So again, was it important to get one guy back? No, it was about getting guys that really want to be here, and Nas has been that steadfast since I've gotten here.
DeMario Monsanto, was he your last?
Yeah.
Damari.
Yeah.
Okay. He was the guy that maybe was your last commitment.
Yeah, probably so.
Like last night, or
Yeah. From a couple days ago, he announced it today. Damari, 6'8", incredible experience playing in Wake. Was having a huge year as a junior, had a really bad injury, and he's still kind of not making his way back. He's healthy now. But I think, you're going to see a version of him, I think, in our offense that, he's probably the best shooter. People say he might be the best shooter in the country. He's 6'8", incredible. Just range. He shot a super high percentage every year in college. I think it was 41% at Wake 2 years ago when he played, extended minutes. We're really excited about tomorrow. Hopefully he gets down here by next week.
Coach, what about you mentioned some guys coming off injured, a little bit banged up last year and whatnot. How many of your guys are not quite 100% right now? Who are the guys that you're going to have to kind of ease into practice, you think?
I actually think right now we're good. I
Really?
think, and Damari's not here yet. I know he's still got, he's still got, I wouldn't say he's 100%. He's still got some work to do, just getting back in shape, conditioning. So he's certainly one. Damari would be one that we want to make sure we're going to throw him in the fire, but we're not also going to, we're going to be cautious at the same time. We got to make sure that, he's coming back from a major injury, but he played 11 games to finish the season at Wake, so, he'll be, so he played the last,
at the end of the year.
yeah.
Okay.
But I think everybody else, we're good to go. So that's certainly exciting to have, have some health right now, and I just want to keep that going. That's why depth's important too. You're going to have nicks and bruises as you go, and that's why every single one of these guys is so important.
Now that you have your 13, what kind of the next steps is the lead in for these couple months before the season?
Yeah, I think just really setting the foundation for who we want to be on offense, on defense. Just really, I think over the next month and a half, just some basic, kind of, I don't want to say basic practices, but I think just making sure we understand sort of our core values and principles. What are the key things that we want to allow defensively? What are the shots we're looking for offensively? And then as we get in late September, October, really start to kind of tighten up some of the screws. But I think more than anything, just getting these guys out here and playing, starting to get to know each other, on the court, and start to develop that chemistry.
Coach, have you been, say you had, or Mike may have told us, you had like 8 or 9 of this group that was on campus in the first session. Have you had 5-on-5 yet?
Not yet. We're that could potentially happen today. We'll see. We're getting there. Throughout the process, there's hurdles you got to jump over before these guys can go full line. But we have done, we have done some competitive stuff, and I think that's probably the thing that excites me most. That I think gives us a real opportunity to have a successful year is just knowing how competitive these guys are, even when they're just in there shooting by themselves or against a teammate. And the little that we have gotten to do on the floor live, these guys, man, they really get after it. And I'll tell you what, it seems like you know, they've already started to form a really cool brotherhood off the floor. These guys are really close. They're always together. You see them walking around, it's like a mob of them, you know, all together all the time, which is great. But when they get between the lines, they love to compete, they love to work, they want to have a great year. And as a coach, that's exciting. When you have a group like that, it makes you, you know, it certainly makes you want to go to work and see these guys and continue to, you know, sort of work towards something that, you know, we think can be a special year.
It's kind of, you know, this is kind of a new era in college basketball. You know, I used to, when I was covering this team back in the 80s and whatnot, you'd have a pretty good idea what the roster was right at the end of the previous season. You knew pretty much who was coming back, and now it's like you get 12 names on July 2nd, and here's the team. And what is it like that for a coach and a staff, Austin, to be in a situation where with every program, there's so much movement, and what's it like to try to build something given you know, the lay of the land in college basketball?
Yeah, you know, I've been fortunate to do it a couple of times now, and honestly, it's I don't know, it's part of, you certainly love to have you know, guys, you know, recurring players in your program and guys that are back, but it's also cool to bring guys in and you know, when you have your culture established and kind of who you are, and get them, you know, assimilated into how we do things. And now with that being said, we have a brand new team, so it's about getting everyone kind of on that page. But I think that's the fun part, when you see all that come together. You can't rush it, you can't skip steps, right? I think we all just want to get out there and go play somebody right now and all that. We've got a long way to go. And so I think when you have, you know, so many new guys every single year, every June and July and August, you know, as you get into official practice, it's really important to understand that your identity, your culture, and who you're going to be as a team, you've got to set that every single year. You can't skip steps and just get out here and, you know, and I think, you know, again, I think it's a part of why we had successful teams at Nichols, because my staff did an incredible job of that. You know, I think our guys, you know, our assistant coaches, man, are, you know, like I said, they've done a hell of a job, you know, these couple of months, you know, and they're, you know, I think that they're as a big a part of our success as the players. And I think we've got an incredible staff, and you've got to have that. You've got to have buy-in from everyone in your program. When you ultimately are trying, like you said, to build something from the ground up.
Look forward to seeing this. Will we be able to see any of your work here in this the latter part of this summer? Also?
Yeah, I think.
What are the rules? Say
Yeah, I think let's get everybody here, and then I'd love to, you know, have you guys come and
take a peek,
hang out and see what we look like, and ask some maybe more specific questions about guys and things like that. You know, once we get the whole team here. So I would say, you know, when we get back from the 4th, you know, or maybe the following week, those last 2 weeks of summer access, you know, we'd love to have, you know, kind of that open to everybody. And
towards maybe the end of this month, then.
Yeah, I think, and even, you know, not the last week, I'd say, you know, toward the end, back half of the month, like, you know, we'd love to have guys in here, and you guys can get a, you know, a better feel for these guys. And shoot, they're gonna want to talk to you guys. I mean, they're excited, and they love this group. I think they think we can have a big year. And so, like I said, that's exciting for me.
Do you also have like coaches, local high school coaches calling you and asking about, hey, when can we come?
Yeah, you know, that's been the other thing that, you know, and I've talked to some guys, and now, you know, one thing I didn't get to do as much of, quite frankly, in the spring was go out and recruit the circuits and recruit, you know, the high school guys as much, because we had so much work to do fulfilling the roster. So now that we're a little bit, you know, we're settled and we have our team, now we can, our staff has been doing it, and we've offered some really good, you know, players from this area, surrounding areas in the state, but at the end of the day, you know, now it's important. You know, I want to be more of a presence in you know, just getting out and like you said, I mean, there's so many good players around here, and so it's important now that we settle in and start to, you know, develop that, identity and presence in these high school
I
trips.
know some of these guys. Some of these guys are going to want to come.
Oh, 100%,
See what
and they're
y'all
always welcome.
are up to with it.
And hey, I certainly think it's, I certainly think it's a great recruiting tool for us. I think we play a fun system, and certainly want to keep the local guys local, right? So I'm excited to now that we're officially done. It's exciting now as we move into the final live period in July, and then as it gets into recruiting season in September, getting out and seeing these guys.
What was amazing, I asked you about this, a couple months ago or so about the level of talent coming out of the Texas high schools. Did you notice in the 2 rounds of the NBA draft, Coach, about how many kids from the state got into the first 2 rounds?
Yeah.
It had to have been double figures.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but it was noticeable, right?
Spurs got one, right? One of their second round picks.
Yes. But again, I just think it felt like 20 years ago, as a kid from Houston, it felt like Houston and Dallas, so much talent. It was maybe not as much in other places. I feel nowadays, San Antonio has so much talent. Austin, West Texas. UConn just won back-to-back with a point guard from El Paso, right? So there's talent everywhere, and I think on top of that, there's incredible high school coaching in Texas, and that is a huge luxury to have. And I think that's how you get guys in your program that are younger, that are ready to contribute right away because they've been coached at a high level. And so it's both. It's having great talent in the state is great, but also having good high school coaches, good AAU programs. That makes it nice for us.
Yeah.